and welcome to House Connect, your insights into parliamentary activities. Barely weeks into recess after the end of the first ordinary session of the year, lawmakers continue to reflect on how to change the course of development for the benefit of their communities. On today's edition of the program, we zoom in on their commitment to promote ecological transition in the country. Our guest is Honorable Teku Tani Teku, a vocational training expert who is keen on promoting education in his crisis reading constituency of Manu in the Southwest region. But don't go away. We'll be right back in a jiffy as we begin with the Speaker's Week. The House Speaker, the Right Honorable KAWEB, who also doubles as traditional ruler of Mada in the Far North region, has been itching for a synergy between traditional medicine and conventional medicine in order to guarantee quality health services for the population. He inspired the creation of the Parliamentary Network for the promotion of health and for the popularization of traditional medicine in Cameroon that has been functional in parliaments since 2020.
Traditional medicine is oftentimes considered as pre-scientific, with its practices and treatments termed archaic and worth replacing. This misconception is addressed by the House Speaker, the Right Honorable KAWEB, who strongly believes that the strengths of African traditional medicine can be explored by practitioners of conventional medicine. The head of the Technical Secretariat of the Parliamentary Network for the Promotion of Health and the Popularization of Traditional Medicine, Dr. Ronil Temfak, summarizes the reflection in a book titled The Naturopathy Guide.
We give to the President that document. In that document, we were trying to advise traditional healers that they must have a way to treat the patient. They must do their practice with the law.
With over 80% of Cameroon's population seeking remedies from herbalists and other experts in African traditional healing, it is incumbent for government to regulate the practice. A bill to govern the sector and to provide avenues for exchange between conventional and traditional medicine is currently being drafted and is expected to be tabled before Parliament in the upcoming sessions.
Cameroon's rich forest and coastal resources are increasingly at risk due to current droughts, rising sea levels, and deforestation with large consequences for economic development. Ecological transition, which provides a model for sustainability, is now an imperative for the lawmakers of the Parliamentary Network for the Sustainable Management of Forest Ecosystems, REPAR.
The effects of climate change are there. They are telling, manifesting on our communities, our peoples, our populations, and in fact our environment. You can see the health hazards. You can see the deterioration in weather conditions and, of course, the deplorable state of our forest resources. All of this put together must be now at the center of our conversations and our discussions.
Technological innovation is of the essence. A circular economy where every waste is a resource and other options ought to be explored.
We firmly believe that it is urgent, not only in terms of political, economic and social security, but also in terms of perspective, because we are hosting in Central Africa the Congo Basin, and we firmly believe that accelerating ecological transition will open several opportunities in terms of employment.
In some forest zones, the threat to survival is real and warrants the intervention of the state.
About some 2 weeks ago, you experienced that floods got into Bekumu in my subdivision, and the greenery there turned into something else. Each ministerial department should put aside in their budget amount that would fight against environmental degradation. If we don't do that, then we'll just be beating about the bush. This money that will be made available should be given to the council, because the mayors, you know, are the players at the field, and they can know better how to work with the people to see that our environment is sustainable.
RIPA considers the revision of the 1994 forestry law and the needfulness to incorporate host community benefits in its provisions.
Mamfe Central and Tinto or Upper Banyan subdivisions are forest zones. And one of the things we think we should promote is sustainable development. And in order to do that, we think that there are certain policies that government must put in place. Government should be able to give authorizations for legal logging. There should be legal logging. People should not walk into villages, walk into forests, and then just carry out illegal logging. And I think that's what has been happening in most of the areas like the East region. Even the administration in that area should be informed, so that if there are any issues, they should be able to address this situation. The community should be part of the decision making. Most of the time, the royalties that are given don't, you know, the community does not benefit.
You should cut using authorization. Not that you will just see anybody who has forest, you go to him, and then you just negotiate, and then you can tell the person, I have 3,000, or the person can even sell the forest for 15, 20,000, 30,000, because we know that there's crisis, he cannot do anything with the forest. No, we want that the government should impose that people should use authorization before they cut the forest, so that my people will benefit.
An overhaul in mentalities and an increase in investments will change the tides.
We need to build more sustainable cities, because currently in our country we face a lot of difficulties in terms of transportation, in terms of energy, and even in terms of waste management. But we need to leverage on ecological transition to offer better solutions to the populations. We cannot create ecological transition without social justice, and it is also very important that we take into account all the measures that need to be taken to eliminate discriminations in terms of, you know, disabilities and all of that.
With the pursuit of opportunities that create social, environmental, and economic awareness while reducing environmental impact, Cameroon is sure to survive in spite of the devastating climate change effects that threaten human existence.
As we announced at the start of the program House Connect today, our guest is Honorable Teku Tani. Teku is CPD, a member of the National Assembly of Manu constituency in the Southwest region. Honorable, you're welcome to the program.
Thank you very much, Esther, for inviting me.
It is a pleasure to have you on the program.
Thank you.
So we'll begin by finding out who is Honorable Teku Tani. Teku, who is on his first mandate in Parliament.
I am a professional guidance counselor. I am a former principal of the government secondary school, and I want to stress that the government secondary school was in Akwaya subdivision. But above all, I'm an expert in vocational training.
And for an educationist who's moved up the ranks, you've occupied a position of principal, you've equally worked at the ministry. So what took you to Parliament?
The youth sent me to Parliament. You know, at a certain time, they look for the person who has the qualities they want. Somebody who is altruistic, empathetic, somebody who cares for them, somebody who listens to them.
We can't talk about the youth without talking about education. Is that why you place your mandates on the promotion of education?
Exactly. That is just one of the reasons, because we went into Parliament in 2020 at the peak of the political crisis. I am from a subdivision with 66 villages, and as at that time, up to now, schools are functioning only in 2 villages. It means 64 villages do not have schools. We have about 21, every village at least has a government primary school.
You mean they do not have schools, or you mean the schools that they have are not functional?
Are not functional.
Okay.
So schools are functional only in 2 villages out of 66 villages. So I'm saying that 64 villages, schools are not functional. And we have, before the crisis, we had 21 functional government, secondary and technical colleges. As of now, only 2 government secondary high schools are functional and 1 technical school. Though the schools are functional only in 2 villages, we try to move children, pupils and students from other villages, which are like the red zones, to a Umojok and a Kok, which are green zones for security purposes, and to push the children to go to school. Moving the children from the red zones to the green zones, we could have parents who open their doors to take just any child to live with them. Our role had been to make those children attending those schools feel comfortable by sponsoring them, giving them grants, making them live and attend school, buying didactic materials for them, paying their PTA fees, and many more.
Could you give us some details of these actions that you've been carrying out at the level of your constituency, and with whose assistance? Because we all know the security situation. Do you go to your constituency all the time?
I go to my constituency and I'm always there. You know, it is during difficult moments that the people know the politicians who are with them. The Government Technical College at Umojok had problems of electricity, but no electricity, their workshops could not function. And I donated to them 2 years ago a big Lister generator that cost more than 2 million francs to enable them have their workshops functional. And I want to tell you to thank the Minister of Secondary Education that after the school produced very good results, they upgraded the school to a government technical high school. So that is it. And for the other schools, I have been donating computers, I've been donating didactic material, paying, giving students scholarships, grants, and other awards to motivate them. And for pupils, they are not left out. Every year since I went to Parliament, children writing the common entrance have a certain amount of money to motivate them to work hard. And writing the first school living certificate, it is the same thing. And the results have been so wonderful. We have been having meetings to call for sensitized parents on the necessity to let their children start schools in their various villages. But Esther, I want to tell you that the fear factor is there. If
there's a recommendation that you, the people's representative of Umojok, will have to make to government in order to facilitate this learning process in your area, what would that be?
We have to increase the security situation. If schools are functioning in a Umojok and a Kok, it is because there are military bases there. So if they could create other military bases in some other villages like Kembong, like Osin, which are centers, clusters, where other children can come to attend school, then the number of children going to school will increase considerably.
You're a vocational training expert, and today, with the evolving world, the new professions that are coming up, what would you say is the importance of vocational training in the development of a country like Cameroon, which is ours?
It is unfortunate that many people, many parents, and even students and children from our English-speaking regions are not aware of the existence of certain very important vocational training centers. The government, the past about 10 years, has tried to implement vocational training centers in Cameroon. We have like the Advanced Vocational Training Center in Limbe. In Cameroon, there are only 3. One in Sangmelima, one in Douala, and one in Limbe. The school fee at inception was 500,000 francs, given the value of the training that comes out of there. But after 2 years ago, the government decided to step down the school fee to 50,000 francs.
To make it more accessible.
Make it more accessible. Yet, many of our people are not aware. I want to say that that training institute, for example, enables those who have done general education to come and convert and have a profession. Imagine a young student who graduated with a degree in English or in history, goes there, will do an advanced certificate in beauty and aesthetics, for example. They come out to be job creators.
Okay.
Like what I'm doing now, I have trainees from my constituency whom I have sent to vocational training centers like the OIC.
In Umojok subdivision, the mainstay of the population is agriculture.
Yes.
How have you been able to impact these farmers in your area?
There are youth groups, organized youth groups, where I give like engine saws, I give farming materials, I give fertilizers, hose, and all of that. But recently, on the 24th of March, I was in Eyumojok, and I gave 5 tons of treated maize seedlings to all the 66 villages of Eyumojok subdivision. You know, with the crisis going on, people have problems even going to their farms. So when you go there, the issue is hunger. So we donated this to them so that they will plant not only for consumption, but Eyumojok happens to be at the borders with Nigeria. So those who go into even industrial production of maize will have the market to sell to the neighboring country and make some money. We have been promoting women's groups to, because of the crisis we are talking about, many people left their villages. Most of them are women who are still fending and struggling to send their children to school. So I decided, and through my parliamentary network again,
for the promotion of private entrepreneurship
in the National Assembly, organize training seminars, sponsor them in training seminars, and I want to tell you that we have succeeded to remove many women from the side of the road to markets where they have their little sheds. You know, they know how to do. We have some who have gone into poultry farming. We have some who have gone into piggery farming. But in all of this, we think that we should get to a stage where they'll be more comfortable going back home.
There's definitely a number of internally displaced persons from Eyumojok subdivision, given its closeness to Nigeria, neighboring country. How have you been able to encourage some of these people to come back?
We have been working on that with my brother, the mayor. And 2 years ago, and even last year, there are hundreds of them who came back to Eyumojok. Most of them do not have like national identity cards. Most of them, they were running away, all their documents, no birth certificates. So we have been struggling to plead with the powers that be that they should give the opportunity for these people to have new birth certificates. They should reopen the identification office that was in Eyumojok, and because of the crisis, it was closed down. Now that they have come, they cannot be moving from Eyumojok to go and do national identity cards in Manfe.
What is the current security situation in the Eyumojok subdivision?
It is relatively calm. I stress on the word relatively calm. Relatively calm because once in a while we have sporadic attacks. But the most dangerous section of the route in the Banyu division now is between Ekok and Manfe, where recently there have been many kidnappings and asking for ransoms. I used the opportunity to thank the Defense and Security Forces for the great job they are doing. But given that we are a border subdivision, some of these people come from the neighboring country, and after, when they carry out their attacks, their evil attacks, they rush back. But then it is not going to be like that forever. We are pleading with our brothers who are part of this trouble, that the head of state has told them to come out. The head of state says, come back and nothing will happen to you.
You can be pardoned and given a chance to begin all over again. They
send you to the DDR, where you learn a profession, a lifelong profession. And some of them are coming, some of them are not coming out.
So you're encouraging all those who are involved in the separatist activities
to come out and join. We need them for the development of our subdivision, for the development of our division and our country in general.
You're almost at the end of your first mandate, about 9 months if the electoral calendar doesn't change. What plans do you have for the remaining months for your constituency?
Much still to be done in the area of education. The children have to continue going to school. Schools have to reopen in most of our villages in Banyu division. We have to let the children, the youth, know the opportunities that are there for them to gain admission into vocational training centers. We have our women who are fending out there every time. We have to empower them with the little trainings in entrepreneurship. And so there's still much that we have to do for our people. Much, much, much. In fact, more than what we have even done. There's still much to be done.
We hope that your impact is going to be felt and your legacy will live on, whether you're staying in Parliament or you're moving on for other functions. We thank you, Honorable, for taking off your time to be our guest on House Connect today.
Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity.
Thank you. Beyond legislating and controlling government action in plenaries and committee sittings, senators and members of the National Assembly are conscious of their role in promoting developments in their communities. Apart from ensuring that funds allocated in the public investment budget are appropriately used, they are equally engaged in a closer collaboration with their electorates for the betterment of livelihoods.
Financial constraints, uncertain market conditions, and competition are the most common challenges faced by private entrepreneurs in the country. The Parliamentary Network for the Promotion of Private Entrepreneurship, mediating between the state and the small business community, is going beyond sensitization to the creation of wealth.
For the past years, the central administration was able to solve our problems. They recruit a lot of youngsters to be civil servants and so on. But nowadays it's impossible. We know that the way for some of our youngsters to be a membership of our society, a productive one, is to create a business, to enter in entrepreneurship.
The lack of experience and knowledge among youth, plus the desire to scale and grow their business, is being looked into by the legislators.
Most of the farmers are receiving in that area some machines to plant corn, soybeans, mainly women, because women in the LAWMAKERS constituency are really strong, they are motivated. So we distribute some machines to improve the production. Currently they have some machines that we call seeders. They can plant 1 hectare of corn or soybean in six hours. And they also have some little tools to spray the fertilizer. This is what we are trying to do.
To ease the process of figuring out how to grow their business, the network is engaged in the creation of clusters throughout the national territory.
The members are supposed to have meetings with councils or to do it by themselves, to create clusters so that these young people be informed, be trained to create a business in their circumstances. We hope that at the end of the year we have 25 created, but we hope that we have more, because each member of parliament can create even 2 or 3 or 4.
Apart from encouraging small-scale ventures, members of the Cameroon-Germany Parliamentary Friendship Group deliberated on ways of fostering ties and concerted legislative action with their peers.
Cameroon was privileged to have had Germany as its first colonial master. And during their period of colonialism, they put in place structures, policies, which until today are playing a very significant role in the evolution of things in Cameroon. Economically, they set us on a platform which the very foundation of Cameroonian economy is based or built on.
The commitment to strengthen trade investment that have been relatively modest over the years was also taken.
It is with these actions of lawmakers on the field that will draw the curtains on today's edition of House Connect. Our guest was Honorable Teku Tani Teku of the Banyu constituency in the Southwest region. As we look forward to what lawmakers will be deliberating on in the coming weeks, we'll take a rendezvous for a fortnight. Till then, accept warm regards from the entire production team of House Connect on CRTV.